Hello everyone, welcome to the video. My name's Audrey. This is going to be like a where to live in college, how to choose living throughout all years, like where people live. I don't know the exact name of the title. I'm a sophomore at the University of Texas, and so I'm going to kind of mention things about UT, but also like related to if you don't go to UT, but also like my experiences with UT, and living is a little bit different everywhere, so it's going to be kind of broad, kind of specific. With that being said, this video is sponsored by Rambler, which I will talk about in a little bit. It's an apartment in West Campus at UT, which I will also explain what West Campus is once we get into the video. Choosing where to live in college can be very stressful, which is why I wanted to make this video, to kind of let y'all know how to choose things, the difference between dorms, apartments, sorority house, like pros and cons, just everything. So I'm going to kind of move on starting at freshman year, going on to like where older people live and my experience with everything. Let's just get into it. Starting with freshman year. Freshman year, most common to live in a dorm, at least at UT, like almost every freshman lives in a dorm. At UT, there's an option of off-campus dorms or on-campus dorms, and going in out of state, I did not know the difference at all, and there definitely is a big difference. Some schools, I will say, like you have to live on campus. You'll know like if your school requires you to live on campus or not. I chose to live in an on-campus dorm. I lived at Durham, but I wish I would have lived in an off-campus dorm for a few reasons. All my friends were off-campus, and I think like when you're looking for a roommate, which I'll talk about in a second, you should kind of see like, oh, this girl I could see being my roommate, but she's not living where I'm living. And a ton of people were living in off-campus dorms, and when I was looking at it, I was just so set on living on campus because I thought that that's where I was gonna get the like most freshman year experience, which is true. Like I still got that experience, but at UT, living off campus in a dorm, it's called a private dorm, would have still given me that experience, and that's where all my friends lived. That's just an out-of-state thing. Totally fine that I lived on campus. Okay, I realize I'm talking a lot about off campus and on campus and making on campus sound horrible and so boring, which isn't true. I just want to clarify that a lot of people in Greek life live off campus. I guess when I was making this video, I just wasn't thinking, I was thinking about my experience. I am in Greek life, so freshman year, a lot of my friends lived off campus, but on campus is not like a bad thing, and at UT, like you're not gonna have a horrible experience if you're on campus. And on campus is a little bit cheaper than off campus, I think. Depends where you live off campus. But I just wanted to clarify that. But just like, I think it goes back to if you see someone who you think would be a really good roommate and you can see yourself being friends with them, you should try to live where they're gonna live, because I didn't really like all these girls were rushing and then living off campus, and I didn't like put the two and two together. Off campus isn't horrible, and it's convenient. Durham is actually very close to West Campus, so I was still close to all the private dorms. So West Campus, there's the UT campus, I'll show a map, and then West Campus is to the west of it, and that's where a ton of apartments are, a ton of the private dorms, like that's where like a lot of people live, and it's walking distance to campus. So my dorm last year was on the west side of campus, so I was close to West Campus. Off campus doesn't necessarily mean nicer. That's why I was saying like you can still get that dorm experience with an off-campus private dorm. My dorm was honestly nicer than my friends who lived off campus because it was bigger, I had my own bathroom, but it was very quiet. Like I didn't meet a lot of people at all, and I feel like freshman year, like you really want to meet people. There are like on-campus dorms where that is the culture and you do meet a lot of people, for example Jester, but Jester is very like not close to West Campus. So when looking at it, just look at the location, kind of what you want, and kind of see where other people are living, and just do a little more research than I did. Really quickly about how to find roommates, I did a whole like roommate video that you can look at. You'll find Facebook groups and Instagram pages where people post where they're living and stuff. Just again, kind of see where other people are living, because you want to kind of live where people are living. I feel like if I would have lived somewhere where more people lived, I would have met more people in my dorm. I don't know if it's just a COVID thing, but Durham was very quiet. Okay, moving on. If your school doesn't require you to live on an on-campus dorm your freshman year, you can live in an apartment. Speaking of apartments, thank you Rambler for sponsoring this video, and with that being said, like everything I say in this video isn't, I really am giving y'all like true, transparent, genuine advice. Rambler is located at 25th in Nueces in Austin, and that is technically basically what the West Campus I'm talking about. If you go to UT, like, you totally know what West Campus is. It's from the same developer of the place that I'm living next year, which is called Waterloo, and you'll see a ton of that content once I move in. I'm so excited. My favorite thing about the apartment I'm living in next year and Rambler, which is getting built right now, is the amenities. The amenities are insanely nice. There's a 2-story fitness center at Rambler, which a gym to me is so important, especially because our campus gym is a little bit far from West Campus and not my favorite, and so having an apartment that has a gym is just so convenient, especially a 2-story fitness center. Like, oh my goodness. The fitness center is going to have yoga and spin studios. Rambler will also have a rooftop zen den with a sauna. Literally, could you ask for any more? But they do have more. They have a whole study floor with study rooms, which I absolutely love, like getting out of my room and going to study. And they have a courtyard pool with a bar, and then also a pet spa, which is an amenity that I don't see often in apartment buildings. And then they'll also have more. My favorite part is they're going to have Daydreamer coffee, so coffee shop in the lobby. Daydreamer is that coffee, if you follow me on Instagram, I go to at the leasing office right now for the apartment I'm living in next year, and that apartment will also have this coffee shop. Their coffee, their matcha is like absolutely the best, and it's going to be so convenient to just go downstairs and get your coffee in the morning. And then also they'll have those cute study spaces, so you can get coffee and then also like study. They're now leasing for fall 2023 move-in, so that's going to be my senior year because it's literally like getting built right now. So right when you move in, it's going to be brand new. It's going to be so nice. They have a wide range of units available, from studios to 6-bedroom double occupancy townhomes, so you can live with all of your friends, and rates start at $850. Their website and Instagram will be linked below. They do a ton of giveaways on their Instagram, so I would definitely go follow them. But yeah, thank you so much, Rambler, for sponsoring this video. Back to apartments freshman year. It's not super common, but if you really need your own room and want that kitchen space, that is great. With the dorm that I didn't really mention, like, you're gonna have a meal plan, so you don't have a kitchen. You're probably gonna have a roommate like 99% of the time. You can buy singles at some dorms, but if you want your own room, you can live in an apartment. I would still suggest trying to find freshman roommates if you're living in an apartment freshman year, so you can still kind of get that, like, that kind of like experience. Sophomore year and on, kind of very similar. You can live in a sorority house if you're in a sorority, you can live in an apartment, or you can live in a house. And these all kind of differ between schools, between what grade you're in, between what your friends are in. So I'm just gonna kind of try to hit all the bases. So UT has sorority houses. Some schools, even if you're in a sorority, you can't live in the sorority house. Also, depending on which sorority, depends on what year you usually live in. Like, I know some schools where you move in right away freshman year. My sorority moves in sophomore year, but a lot of sororities at UT move in junior year. So sorority house living just kind of depends on your sorority, and obviously depends if you're even in a sorority. I'm living in my sorority house, and I would 100% recommend it. I absolutely love it here. It's me again. I want to clarify that if you live in a sorority, you don't have to live in the house. There's not even enough room for everyone to live in the house, so don't like not rush because you don't want to live in a sorority house, because plenty of people like don't live in a sorority house. Some pros and cons, okay? We'll just go through them really quickly. Pros, unique experience. Like, when else are you gonna live in a huge house with 50 girls? Probably never. And it's so fun. You always have someone to hang out with no matter what. You can go downstairs and hang out with people. You do have to share a bedroom most of the time. There are some singles in my sorority, like, just depends kind of how the house is built. It is very different feeling from a dorm, because in your dorm, I feel like that's your whole living space, but in a sorority house, you can go downstairs to the dining room, to the multiple living rooms, to the study rooms. Like, there's other places to go to, so it doesn't really feel like I'm trapped in my room as much as like a dorm feels. It's also like super convenient for sorority events. Like, I literally just walk downstairs and then walk back upstairs when I'm finished. Some cons is it is a shared bathroom. There is a lot of like shared spaces such as laundry and stuff, but I've never had a problem with the bathrooms being too full, and like most of the time I can do my laundry completely fine. And also we have cleaners coming, so the bathrooms are like almost always clean, and it's great. It really does not bother me at all. Another con is it's very little alone time. So like I was saying, like, if you really are one of those people that needs their space, like needs their alone time, it would definitely be a lot harder living in a sorority house. Like sometimes I can't even find a place to cry. My room does act like as my alone space. Like even though I have a roommate, we're usually not like always in here at the same time, and so if I really want alone time, I'll just go to my room. But if I don't want alone time, I can go downstairs and there's people for me to hang out with. So just, it's a pro and con. You also, in my sorority house, you don't have access to a kitchen. We have a chef that cooks us our food, so it's kind of like a meal plan kind of thing. I like having my meals just made for me and the food is good, but I am like ready for a kitchen. I mean, I've lived 2 years now with a meal plan and I'm ready to like cook my own food and what I'm feeling and stuff. So that also is kind of like a pro and a con. Like it's very convenient for your food to just be made for you, but you don't have access to a kitchen. Overall, I absolutely love the house. I've gotten so close to literally everyone who lives here, and I'm moving out in a week as of today, and I'm so sad about it. I'm like so glad that I lived here because again, it's such a unique experience that I'll never ever get back. Okay, next place that you can live sophomore year, junior year, senior year, again freshman year, is apartments. So UT apartments are very common. A lot of other schools, depending on like, UT is in Austin, like it's in the city, so apartments are very common. There's not a ton of houses, but other schools I know like houses are like a very common thing, and so it really just depends on your school. But if you are looking at apartments, the location really matters. So for UT, an apartment makes sense because all of the apartments are walking distance to campus. With that being said, like you should look at within West Campus what location you want. So I know my school is more closer to like the northwest side of campus. I try to live like towards that side, so my walk to class is a little bit less. Obviously you're gonna have classes other places, but just try to focus on like where most of your classes are gonna be, and you want to kind of live close to that, because if your commute to class is really long, you're not going to want to go to class. At least that's how I am. The apartment I'm living in next year and Rambler are very close to my school and then also my sorority house, so it really is just like the perfect location for me. Next thing when looking at apartments is to think about the floor plan. How many roommates you want? Do you want to share a bathroom? What does the kitchen look like? Next year I'm living in a 2x2, which isn't super common. Common floor plan here is a 4x4, so you have 4 roommates, each of them have their own bathroom. That's very nice. I honestly wouldn't mind sharing a bathroom with one other person, and that usually makes it a little bit cheaper. Like there's just a ton of options of how many friends you want to live with, how many roommates you can find, your price range. Usually the less people you live with, the more expensive it's going to be. If you have your own bathroom, a little more expensive it's going to be. That's just kind of like how apartments work. Parking is also something to think about. If they have parking or if you're close to a garage. I know in West Campus parking is like crazy and there's not a ton of parking, and just keep that in mind. Some apartments let you park at their apartment even if you don't live there, and so sometimes that's a cheaper option. Just kind of think about that. Another thing to look at is the amenities. UT's amenity bar is like set really high. Like all the apartments have amazing amenities. Like I was just talking about Rambler, like literally the best amenities. But I know a lot of schools like don't really value amenities. That's kind of how the market works. Like if you go to a school where none of the apartments care about amenities, they're not going to have a ton of amenities. UT here, a lot of apartments care about amenities, so they're going to be competing with who has the best amenities. So I'm very lucky that that is a thing, and that I'm going to have like an amazing gym and an amazing pool in my apartment next year. So just keep that in mind, like if amenities are important to you, or if your area even like focuses on amenities that much. Gotta think like what's important to you, a gym, a pool, if in-unit laundry is important to you. Also like if it comes furnished or not. Rambler comes furnished, the apartment I'm living at next year comes furnished. A lot of UT apartments come furnished. If not, that's okay, because usually if it's not common for there to be furnished apartments in your area, you're gonna be buying furniture for all of college, so you'll just keep moving your stuff. And I'll talk about that a little bit later when it comes to houses and like not being furnished, and if you're used to being furnished apartments. First, when to sign for leasing. UT is just, it makes me go crazy at how early we sign. We sign like early fall for the next fall, so like almost a year in advance. That can get very stressful, especially freshman year when you're signing for sophomore year and you don't really know who your friends are. Just I think it's so like, it's not my favorite thing, and we do it to ourselves because everyone jumps to sign and then there's nothing left if you don't sign right away. So not to stress you out if you go to UT, but you do have to sign pretty early first semester. Things fill up. Don't think that they're not going to, because this year I signed pretty late because I thought I was going to live in the house if I won exec, but then I didn't, so I'm moving into an apartment. So I signed like, I want to say like November, December, and there wasn't a lot of options. Prices did go up for parking and everything, and so yeah, that's just how it is. But other schools I know are not that crazy. A lot of people sign in spring for the next fall, which I feel like is completely normal time to sign. So just kind of feel it out, ask around, make sure you know like when people are signing, because you really don't want to be that far behind of people. But try not to stress out about that. But I definitely stress out about it, so if you do, it's okay. Something I didn't mention about apartments is re-signing, which is very common at other schools, and at UT it can be, but just because there's so many new places in UT popping up, a lot of people move, or a lot of people just, it's normal to change roommates, something like that. But you can also just re-sign, which is comes at a different time. If you know you're gonna stay there sophomore, junior, senior year, or junior, senior year, just re-sign, and that's a little less stressful. Okay, moving on to a house. Houses at UT are most common to live in senior year, but still not like everyone lives in a house. So houses are more in North Campus. Still not actually on campus, but like it's called North Campus because it's north of campus. I don't have experience living in a house, obviously, and I don't have a ton of friends who live there because it's like more senior year. Most of these houses do come unfurnished, and again, if you're used to having unfurnished stuff since freshman year, you're gonna have a lot of furniture. But because I will have lived in a dorm, a sorority house, and a furnished apartment, when it comes to senior year, I'm gonna have like zero furniture. And so that definitely is something to think about. That's why I'm not really thinking about living in a house, because I don't want to buy all this furniture and then not know where I'm going after senior year and having all this brand new furniture. Like, it's just an added complication. And again, if you go somewhere where furnished apartments aren't that big of a deal, it's more like manageable because you will use that furniture throughout your college career. But if I'm just using it senior year, like, it doesn't really make sense. Does that make sense? Okay, for houses, I didn't really talk about other schools. I wasn't really thinking about it at this point, but other schools' houses are like 1000%, like that's where everyone lives. And so I want to make this video as applicable to different schools as possible, but honestly, like living at different schools is so different. But houses, I know a ton of friends who go to other schools and like a house is their thing. They moved in at sophomore year. They're planning on staying till senior year. They bought all the furniture. Like, it's perfect. And everyone really drives to school, so that's something. Like UT, not a lot of people drive to school. There's not a lot of parking, so walking to school is great. I know, for example, A&M, almost everyone drives to class, from what I can tell from my other friends and stuff. So again, it just really depends on the school and the area, but houses are very much a thing, and they like the leasing stuff kind of like is pretty similar to apartments. Like, a lease is a lease. I'm trying to think if I got everything on other schools, but please comment below if you go to another school and I just said something completely wrong. I'm not a complete expert at college housing. Okay, signing a lease for a house at UT so much earlier. Like, people are signing now, so spring of your sophomore year to move in fall of your senior year. And that is also just another added stress that, like, I personally will not be living in a house senior year. But I know it's super fun, and like one of my friends lives in a house of 10 girls, which is also a lot. That's like another thing to think about. Not all houses are like 10 people, but it's really fun. But there's also like a lot of other things to think about. That's kind of all of your options. That's kind of like the options that I'm familiar with that I wanted to talk about, and hopefully this video was like helpful for all of you. Let me know if you have questions. You can go follow me on Instagram. It's my name, Audrey Atienza. Also, ask questions in the comments below. I'll try to answer it. My main takeaways is, one, I wish I would have lived off campus, but that is because I go to UT, and it also wasn't the end of the world that I lived on campus, but also like your school culture is to live on campus, then live on campus because you're gonna have so much fun. Okay, so it's kind of just research. Apartments, amenities are key. Location is key for everything, and make sure you know when to sign. And then for houses, maybe not the most convenient thing if you go to UT, but other places it could be great. I don't know, I've only ever gone to UT, but this was like my advice to y'all. and I hope this like will help kind of make living a little bit less stressful, because it does come with so much like pre-planning and like things that you don't really know how it's gonna work out. Thank you again to Rambler for sponsoring this video. Again, go check out their website and their Instagram below. Go check out my Instagram, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll have a lot more like college advice content coming this summer, much like last. I'm moving to LA this summer, so super fun LA content. Make sure to subscribe, follow me on Instagram. I love you all so much, and I will see you all in my next video.